Okay, hi. I wanted to first of all welcome you all to the symposium. Really good sort of turnout actually for a Saturday afternoon, so thank you very much for coming along. So this symposium, first of all, probably worth saying that it takes its title, as you can see, from a quote from the filmmaker David Lynch. My cow is not pretty, but it's pretty to me. Actually, this is what he said when he received an award for his film Inland Empire. So I think that this sort of quote for me really readily begins to reflect a number of the relevant concerns that are surrounding the sort of paradoxical, the elusive and the complex nature of beauty. For example, you know, the quote itself, "My cow is not pretty, but it's pretty to me," evokes certain debates that surround the ethnographies of exchange and value, of the gift as elaborated by Marcel Mauss, of bartering, and of course of judgment, of taste and of subjectivity. So by way of background really to the symposium and many of its salient themes, which I'm sure that we're going to pick up on today, I'd like to contextualise it within the broader concerns of the Talbot Rice Gallery's current exhibition, the concurrent exhibition Beholder, that's running. So if you haven't had an opportunity, of course, to see this exhibition, I should mention that it runs until February the 18th, so there's still plenty of time to have a good look at it. And really this symposium has been organised in order to reflect and examine a number of the ideas that are embedded in the exhibition. The catalyst for the Beholder exhibition was the University of Edinburgh's tercentenary celebrations of the birth of David Hume. And really by considering the ideas regarding beauty and taste that explored within Hume's of standard taste, the overarching sort of curatorial theme, if you like, of who are the tastemakers began to emerge out of those, reading those texts quite closely and considering Hume's sort of exposition on taste. So the premise of the exhibition then was to invite a number of, almost 100 people were asked, artists and professionals, people with a connection really to the visual arts across Scotland, to loan or to nominate a representative work of art that they considered to be beautiful or to respond to the idea of beauty in some way, or sometimes maybe even challenge that. Each of the contributors were very much afforded the freedom really to explore what the meaning of beauty was, you know, for them, and this was without any selection process on the behalf of the Talbot Rice Gallery. So any work that was nominated was included, you know, if it was possible to loan it or to represent it in some way in the gallery. The idea was that this process would be somewhat open and transparent, or as open and transparent really as possible. Each of the nominators also were asked to give us and contribute a rationale as to why they selected that particular work, and this is notably, we put these up beside their selections, beside the chosen work that they've nominated. So in this sense, the sort of curatorial stance of Beholder begins in some way to sort of reflect a slightly more sort of the sort of open source kind of culture and decision making. It starts to kind of edge slightly towards that, and in so much as it allows quite sort of concurrent input really of different agendas, of different approaches and different priorities. So the reason really behind doing that is that traditionally we might think about curating as being quite a, you know, often an individual pursuit, an independent pursuit, you know, and the idea was that to bring sort of a sort of greater mix of individuals into selecting the content of this exhibition. It also creates very much a different space for defining numerous different ways of engaging with the disparate notions of what beauty is and how different individuals might consider it. the sort of theme then of beauty taken as itself, I mean, we might think about how beauty has had quite a sort of tumultuous time, most notably over the past century, with the concept of beauty went from being considered as almost unanimously the sort of supreme purpose of art to being regarded as almost a sort of serious aesthetic crime, and hence it was virtually removed from the definition of art. Sort of general consensus thereon sort of emerged, whereby beauty became somewhat detached from art. So, I mean, since so-called good art isn't necessarily beautiful, it can in fact be ugly. So it therefore follows that beauty itself can't be an essential feature of art. Evidently, though, beauty, isn't, and nor should it be, the be-all or end-all of art, but it does have an important place, and again, it's maybe something not to be avoided. Furthermore, the sort of great amount of attention that's been given, the amount of time and the amount of energy and resources that are dedicated to both creating and achieving or even preserving beauty in all aspects, various aspects of life, it is quite clear then that beauty is clearly something that's vital and significant. Beauty continues to provoke much debate, and this afternoon's symposium will extend that conversation further by hopefully sort of raising and answering, or certainly asking numerous questions such as what is beauty, what makes it such a difficult concept, how does it relate to other people's values, how does it, what need does it fulfill, if it does fulfill any particular needs, and why is it so powerful in motivating people? So I'd now like to introduce you briefly to our 5 speakers that we have with us here this afternoon, and briefly sort of tell you how the symposium is going to sort of play of how it will run. So first we have Dave Beach, who I will introduce more fully in a moment, who will be dealing with particular aspects to do with beauty. And obviously we asked Dave to come along, not specifically, but certainly because of the anthology Beauty that we found to be a really useful resource for us, particularly in our research as well. Then after Dave spoke, we will have maybe about 10 minutes where we can take a few questions, and then we'll have a break. We'll have a quick tea break, which we'll all just filter through just to the back there, and have a quick break, then return here. And then we'll have Dr. Angela McClanahan will speak from her sort of anthropological background in terms of beauty. And next then we'll have Andrew Snedden, who will contextualise notions to do with beauty and the exhibition, but also with a concurrent project that he's involved in called Gravity, more of which later. And then we'll have Fiona Jardine will speak. And Fiona will be talking about, maybe coming slightly from a sort of Darwinian perspective in terms of thinking about beauty. And then we'll finish off with Alex Pollard and its post. You've changed your title so many times.
No, I haven't.
3 times? You've changed it 3 times. Post art.
I changed it once.
Once.
But I'll get
twice.
Into that later.
I know it's twice. So yes, in terms of contextualising contemporary painting. So to move on then, as we're kind of already behind time slightly, I'll introduce Dave Beach to the stage now.